MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 7 with Mike Potter, Patrice Brend'amour, and Jim Ray. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by Rocket Money. Take full control of your subscriptions with Rocket Money at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Okay, folks, I know this is getting very, very late for a MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide. This is our final gift guide, so consider this one of those to help you for those folks you might have forgotten about, and you need to place an order with Amazon or place an order so you can get it to them after Christmas or after the holidays. This is the gift guide for you. But of course, you can always go back and look at all the others as well. The way you would do that is you would go to the MacVoices website, and that's where the master list of all the gift picks from all the gift guides are listed. We also have a MacVoices holiday gift guide on Flipboard so that you see as well as can read about the gift picks. That link is also in the master list. And everything from this pick as well as those two guides are in the show notes to this particular episode. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding anything we're talking about. I want to go around the room, let you know who's here for the final gift guide of 2022, and then we will get to it. I'm going to take my screen as the folks entered, so that puts Mr. Mike Potter up first. Mike, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you too, Chuck, and I am ready with gifts today, despite the fact that you personally have stolen two of my best top picks.
I'm honored because really during the shows this year, we haven't had nearly the number of people saying that somebody stole something. So I'm glad I was able to steal something from you.
Yeah. But I do endorse them. Okay,
now before we go on, though, I want to give you the award for probably the geekiest holiday outfit that we've had on the show. Would you please raise up a little bit and show folks what you are wearing?
I am wearing a Doctor Who sweatshirt with every doctor, well, the first 12 doctors anyway, represented in gingerbread. It was the most festive thing I could find for today.
I feel like we should just close the show out now because nobody's going to be able to beat that for geeky gifts.
I do have one other festive item, though. I have a color-changing USB Christmas tree.
Of course you do.
That's going to be keeping me company as we share our gifts today.
It just goes to show you that festivities come in all shapes and sizes.
All shapes, all sizes, and all nerdiness.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of shapes and sizes, Patrice Brend'amour is wearing antlers. So I guess that counts as maybe second to Mike's gingerbread Doctor Who sweatshirt. Patrice, great to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I would say I have the most festive outfit, right? Because I'm wearing antlers. I actually forgot I have even I have Santa earrings that I forgot to put in. So while I was getting ready at 10 p.m. at night, I forgot that. So, but I got my antlers. Oh, good.
Yeah, well, that's good. I think I hear jingle bells too.
Just jingling.
Yeah. Okay. Oh boy.
Love it.
Last but absolutely not least, joining me in non-festive attire is Mr. Jim Ray. Jim, it's good to have you.
I may not be in festive attire, but I am wearing underpants.
Ah, that's good to know. Thank you, Jim, for sharing that. And if you don't understand that reference, folks, you should be paying more attention to MacVoices Live. Then you would understand.
I did not realize it was a requirement.
But it's optional, but frequently the guests report on the status of their attire. So even when we don't want to know.
Especially when you don't know.
Yeah, really. So you all heard the instructions or the rules here. And you've already done this before. So, Mike, I'll give you the first pick of the last MacVoices Gift Guide of 2022.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have a couple hardware gifts, and then I have a couple other kind of just unique gifts that I think people might enjoy. But I'm going to start with one of my hardware picks. This is something that I have started carrying around. I actually purchased two of these for MacStock this year for the first time, and I loved them so much I bought one for myself. I don't know about you guys, but I like to carry a portable hard drive around with me. I like to have something with me that I can offload stuff from my MacBook. If I have a large download I need to carry with me to a client location or something, I have a portable hard drive with me. Now, the problem with a portable hard drive is that they're mechanical devices, and I keep mine in my backpack. And every time I'm driving down the road and a deer runs in front of me or some idiot blows a stop sign, I hit the brakes and my backpack goes flying from the seat to the floor of the car. And the very first thing I think about is that hard drive and the data that's on it. Well, what I have in my hand is a small portable SSD from Crucial. This is the Crucial X6 portable SSD. This one happens to be 500 gigabytes. It is just barely over 2 inches square. I love the compact form factor of it. It's just about a 1/4 inch thick, and it comes with its own USB-C cable, which you don't find a lot with portable drives. But I guess because of the form factor and because of the type of drive it is, it would come with USB-C. But this one happens to be 500 gigabytes. I initially purchased this for MacStock because at MacStock I record to SD cards and to an SSD. Everything that gets filmed at MacStock gets recorded to an SSD as it's happening. And what I used to purchase were just bare SSDs, and I would have a SATA to USB cable to connect it to my Sling Studio. And that's what all the recordings would be. And when I found this for less than the price of a bare SSD, I jumped on it. Crucial is a brand I trust. It's one of the 2 brands of external drives I buy. I buy Western Digital and I buy Crucial, and SanDisk for flash drives. And I just love it. And so this 500 gig was $55, I believe. The price fluctuates, of course, as they do. And a 1 terabyte, I happen to have a brand new in the box 1 terabyte version of it right here. I think I paid $79 for this. So
Wow.
for $79, you have this fantastically spacious portable SSD ready to go right out of the box. And it would make a fantastic gift for anyone who likes to have portable storage with them as they go out and about their business. So that is my first pick.
Very nice. Is that USB-C or USB-A? Or USB?
It is USB-C. Yep.
Nice.
USB-C.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Very nice. Crucial
Mike,
X6. Now, I will say they're not the fastest drives in the world. I think they're rated at 800 megabytes per second. But hey, for a portable drive, plenty fast. I even edit off of this in Final Cut, so I find it fast enough for that even.
Mike, is the cable attached, or I mean, can it be detached? Is I guess the question.
Yep.
Okay. I would have thought so, but I wanted to ask. Yeah.
So if to Patrice's point, if you need USB-A, you would have to get a USB-A to USB-C cable, but you could plug it in and connect it up to a USB-A port just as well as you can to a C port. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you need a longer cable, just buy a longer cable.
Buy a longer cable. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
It's kind of the
Very
perfect portable drive at a fantastic price point.
Yeah, definitely. Very nice.
Very nice.
All right, we're out of the gate. Patrice, what do you have for round 1?
I haven't actually just grabbed it. So this is the iFixit ProTech Toolkit. So if you have someone in your family who likes to open up all kinds of devices and doesn't have a proper toolkit, this is for you. It has like all the bits and pieces you need. Actually, I can show that too. It has all the bits that you would need, like even the weird Apple ones, like the triangular ones and the pentalobe screws and like all of everything you would need. I think it works for all Apple devices. I think Samsung, probably a bunch more. Definitely your MacBooks. That's the reason I got it. It has like all the tweezers and the spudgers and the opening tools, like literally anything you would need to repair a device, clean a device. Like I open my MacBooks every now and then just to clean up all the dust because the dust magnets, it happens. Yeah, and it's not super expensive. I've tried ordering like similar toolkits from Amazon. There's a bunch of cheaper ones. Yeah, they're cheaper. It's exactly what you get. Like I got one and it was like well reviewed and everybody said it's perfect, whatnot. I opened it, I looked at it, I packed it up and I sent it back. I was like, nah. It's just not as good. And iFixit is a great company. They're offering a lot of like good guides and good tools and parts and yeah, whatever you need. So highly recommend getting that for anybody who like either themselves or has a friend who likes to repair things.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think the toolkit has made the gift guide a few years now, and it's just always, you know, one of those things that for pretty much anybody that watches the show, they probably want to crack open something at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just going and trying, and you know, a lot of those tools are just difficult to find. You don't just pop over to Lowe's or Home Depot and
Yeah,
find
exactly.
them. So, you know,
Yeah.
get good quality and get them on a set. And as Patrice showed, just such a nice. It keeps them organized.
Yeah, it's like I really like the little, don't want to call it, like it's a pouch thing almost. Like it just rolls up and it's very compact. You can put it somewhere in a whatever drawer or something. And when you need it, it opens up and it just nicely presents everything. Like it's just from the layout perspective, it's just like you can put it in front of you and then get your device and just pick what you need. And you don't have to raffle through some box somewhere to find the right tool. It's just there. So highly recommend
Patrice,
that.
when you were unrolling it or rolling it back up and then unrolling it, it reminded me of all the movies you see where the guy is tied to the chair and the person's coming in that, you know, is going to torture them and just unrolls their little torture toolkit. So
I mean, I guess you could torture someone with some of those tools. I mean, there's some tools that look quite dangerous. So,
yeah, and so if Patrice comes to work on your machine, just be aware, folks. Just be aware.
It's a Christmas bonus.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, man.
You know, if I could second that pick, because I have an older version of that kit that you have, Patrice, and I absolutely love it. And to your point about iFixit, one of the kits I ordered, and I have multiple. I think I have one at home, one at the office, one in the car. I love them. But one of the kits I ordered came with a malformed bit or two. It was like it just wasn't cast right. And I sent a quick email off to iFixit. I said, "Hey, check this out. This doesn't look right." And within a couple days, they had posted me a brand new bit for my set.
Nice.
So, yeah, they really do stand behind the products that they make.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a reason why I think Samsung chose them as was it Google? I think it's Google with the Pixel line. Yeah.
They did.
They chose them as their partner basically for self-service repairs.
Yep.
So there's a reason for that.
Is that because Samsung requires, or Google requires, phones require that much more repairs?
No,
I don't
Oh, stop it.
Well, sorry.
Stop.
It just came to mind. Jim, what do you have for round one?
Well, first, Mike, I don't have a color changing LED tree, but I do have this. So
Oh, I love it.
That's quite cute.
it is kind of cute. Although I might be interested in the link to your color changing LED tree. And my first pick is kind of related. It's not really a gift that you'd probably give to a particular person, maybe to the whole family or to yourself, because it doesn't go under the tree, it goes on the tree. It's twinkly Christmas lights. And we got some last year, but they came too late to put on the tree. Put them on the tree this year, and we just loved them. They're vastly exceeded my expectations, and I'm only just like, hey, Lynn, I don't think I'm going to let you take the tree down after Christmas. For people that aren't familiar, it's a set of LED lights that you put on your tree. You just put them in any order you want. You don't have to be careful about them. There's a little controller that can individually address each LED and turn them on and off and make them different colors. And what you do is you take your phone. I guess it works with Android phones, but you'll take your iPhone, and if you're watching this show, and you hold the camera up, and go in this app, hold the camera up, and it will figure out where each light wound up. So it doesn't matter. You could just throw them on. And then you can put, all these really cool animations. You can even make your own animations on the tree. So it's just endless hours of fun. And every time I go into the room with the tree, it's like, ooh, even though it's been like 3 weeks, it's still, that's so cool.
Jim, it's not often I do this, but I talked to the Twinkly people at CES in 2019, and that still remains my absolute favorite interview of that show. The last thing I ever thought I would be doing is going and interviewing somebody about Christmas lights at CES. The demo, forget the fact that it's my show. The demo is a killer. I promise you, you will go out and buy these lights after that, and I will make sure I have a link in the show notes directly to that episode, because it just blew me away.
Well, that is actually how I found out about Twinkly Lights, was your interview at CES. And I agree with you. That's it's a great interview. I even went back and watched it a few weeks ago. It came up again, and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it again. And that's the other thing that's kind of cool about it, is it's not a big company. It's an Italian company, and it's a person who invented it, and it seems to be still his company as far as I can tell. It's not from a giant corporation, although they are pretty easy to find. Amazon has it immediately. I've seen them in the local Hayes Hardware. I think Lowe's and Home Depot has them too. You can even buy trees that already have them on it now. So, they've done a great job of getting distribution, but it's still from this independent Italian company. And in fact, when I first installed the app, it came up in Italian. So the first thing I had to do was figure out how to switch it to English.
Yeah, that's really, really a great pick. They're fun to play with, and
I was so shocked that I looked through the list and like, nobody picked this. I get to pick it. Yay!
Yeah. Good job. So let's see. Looking at my list, because my list has dwindled down a whole lot. It's getting a little thin, but I still got a few things. This year, this gift is going to cost you money, but it'll save you money in the long run. I have not done what a lot of folks recommended in the past. I did not buy my own cable modem until this year. This year, I had a problem with my cable modem, and let's just say Comcast was not very forthcoming in helping me use their modem with my Eero system, and they wanted me to just use theirs. What's wrong with ours? It's fine. You don't need that. Well, yeah, I do. So Dave Ginsburg helped me with this. He recommended the Netgear Nighthawk CM2000. And it is a little expensive, but I've bought it. It's already paid for itself at this point. More importantly, though, it was a breeze to set up. I will give Comcast credit for making it easy for me to transition away from their equipment to my own, which was frankly quite a shock. But it was nothing. I had it up and running in less than half an hour with almost no downtime. And it means that I can use whatever I darn well please, including my Eero system, with this. So if you think it's a little too geeky for you, it's not. Because, again, Comcast makes it very, very easy. You want to check with your provider before you make that change. But And I'm not one like Dave Hamilton. I don't want to geek around with cable modems or anything. I just want to turn them on and have them work. And that's exactly what this does. So I want to make sure I get it right. The Netgear Nighthawk CM2000 is the one that I have, and I love it.
A lot of ISPs, a lot of carriers have a list where they say, okay, these are the ones we recommend, or these are the ones that work. I can tell you for Cox, for example, same thing. It's super easy. Just buy one of their list, and plug it in, and that's it.
Yeah. So there you go. This edition of Mac Voices is supported by Rocket Money. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions today with Rocket Money at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. One of the easiest ways to save money is not to spend money. Another is to be sure that you're spending money on the things that you really use. Those are two reasons that you should check out Rocket Money. Rocket Money lets you see all your subscriptions in one place so that you can easily evaluate what you're paying for, how much you're paying for it, and decide if you're getting value for that subscription. If you are, great. If not, then you need to cancel that subscription. You could waste hours on the phone talking to customer service reps or digging through the service's website to try to find out how to cancel your subscription. Or you could just hit the cancel button in Rocket Money, and they take care of the rest. It's time to start saving some money. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Thanks to Rocket Money for supporting this week's Mac Voices. So that's round one. So we come back to Mr. Potter for his pick of round two.
For my pick of round two, well, this is a little bit older item, but as I looked around for things to recommend as a gift this year, I decided to go ahead and go with this. And I'll mention the caveats as I go through this, but I actually have 3 of these. I guess technically I have 4, but the 4th one is a slightly different model. This is Anker from Anker. I know there were a lot of Anker recommendations this round of picks this year. This is the Anker Power Expand Direct 7-in-2 USB-C hub. And the other one I have is the slightly newer one. This is why I have 4. This is the 8-in-2 USB-C hub. Now, what I love about these, and I have one, I'm literally using one as I'm talking to you. I've got one at the office that's permanently connected to a couple external displays, and I've got this one, which is my portable one. And this is the one I carry with me everywhere. What I love about these is they just plug right into the 2 USB-C ports on the side of your MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, and then with those 2 ports provides you a single multifunction USB-C port, which is good for charging, for data transfer, and for connecting up to a 5K display. It has 2 standard USB 3, USB-A ports on the side, 1 USB-C data port, and then mine has a SD card slot and a micro SD card slot. And then on the end, HDMI out, which is for up to a 4K display. So on Intel Macs and, well, that's about it. On Intel Macs that are compatible with it, I should say. On Intel Macs, you can hook up to 2 external displays with it. On the M1 MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros that are compatible with this, you can hook up 1 external display. But that's a limitation not of the hub, but a limitation of the M1 MacBooks. I love it. They're very cost effective. I think this is about $50, $55, something like that for the 7-in-2. The 8-in-2 is ranges in price. I've seen it as low as $29 all the way up to $69, which I think is the regular price on it. Just depends on availability for it. The 8-in-2 differs from the 7-in-2 in one way. No, 2 ways. It's slightly longer. And the reason it's slightly longer is because it has a Lightning audio out on it as well. That's the only difference between the 8-in-2 and the 7-in-2. Okay, so great little devices. They're made out of aluminum. You can plug it into the side of your MacBook. If your case is large enough for it, it can just stay connected to your MacBook and travel with you. I use these at MacStock. I use them for work. I use them at clients. The downfall, as you might have heard me say as I was describing them, is that they're only compatible with certain recent model MacBooks, MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs. And that's because the latest models might have two USB-C ports on the side, but they also have that wonderful, absolutely wonderful, I love that it's back, MagSafe 3 connector. However, when you plug this in, it's gonna cover part of that MagSafe connector. So Anchor, of course, is not saying it's compatible. I do not know if it's compatible technically with those model MacBooks because I don't have one to test it with. But as long as the spacing is the same and it would plug in, I don't see why it couldn't be used with them. But of course, Anchor is going to say that it's not compatible because, of course, you can charge those new ones with the USB or with the Thunderbolt / USB-C port as well. So that means this is compatible with the MacBook Pro 13-inch, which is what I have here from 2016 through 2020, the 2016 through 2019 15-inch, the 2019 16-inch, and the 2018 through 2020 MacBook Air. The only other downfall I'd say about them is there's no Ethernet port, but that's by design. They didn't put one in on purpose, and I would love to have one of these with an Ethernet port on it from Anchor, and they just don't offer
But
that.
I mean, you can.
So,
You can just put your dongle. If you have an Ethernet dongle, just plug it into that. I don't think that's a big
which
issue.
is exactly what I have right here. Yep.
Almost as well.
But yeah, that's the 7 and 2, and I like because it's something I can plug into the side of the MacBook and just kind of leave it there, and it doesn't hang off the side like some of the other hubs do, and that's why I like this. So if you're going to give it as a gift, just make sure that it's compatible and isn't going to cause any problems for them because of that MagSafe port.
When you said you had something older, I was for a second. I was like, okay, like an abacus or like a even older, like a trebuchet or something, like some old timey. Okay, this is not old. It might not be for the current generation of MacBook Pros, but it's not. It's like a year or two ago. Like that's not old. It still works.
And to your point,
I'm almost certain. The spacing might be a question, but if the spacing is right, it will still work. Sure, you can't use MagSafe, but
so what? Yeah, you can still plug in and use it. To your point, Patrice, Apple still sells to this day MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs that this would work with. So yeah, I get you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not that old. It's just older in the sense that it's not technically compatible per Anchor with the latest model MacBook Pros.
But you said that it had a Lightning audio. What does that mean?
Well, you know how the latest iPhones don't have a headphone jack?
Right.
So you might have earbuds with a Lightning connector instead of with a 1/8 inch audio connector. Well, you could plug your Lightning connector headphones into the Lightning audio port.
I think technically the AirPods Max that Jim has should do that, right? Isn't that Lightning?
Yeah, you're right. I think you have to buy a special $300 cable to do that, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I don't have a cable that has Lightning at the other end.
But you could get one.
The Lightning is at this end. I guess.
You can go Lightning to Lightning.
Can you? I've never seen that.
Wait.
Now that you say it, I'm sure you can, but
yeah.
Now you have homework, Jim.
Say that.
Mike,
I'm always home.
Yeah. This is not commentary on Anchor because the design model is something that a number of companies use, and
yes,
its advantage is exactly what you said. You can plug it in and leave it there. The disadvantage for me is that I like to have a case on my MacBooks or MacBook Pros, and so and unfortunately, no matter how thin that case is, it's always too much to let the connection be made. And so that's why I tend to default to the little docks like that with an, the cable only needs to be this long, but then I can plug it in any of the USB ports on either side and still have the functionality. But it also means I've got that dongle hanging off of it as opposed to that nice compact integration in with the device. So it just depends on what your needs are and, what's important to you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I should have mentioned that because it was in my notes, and I completely glossed over it. It is not compatible if you have a case on your MacBook. Yeah,
right.
You're right.
So small thing. Other than that, Anchor makes some great products. So if you're not going to be affected by that limitation, this is a great option.
By the way, it comes with this nifty little carry case. So very soft-sided carry case. I can put it in there and put it in my travel bag and not have to worry about scuffing up my beautiful aluminum Anchor Power Expand Direct 7 and 2 USB-C hub.
There you go. Mike is auditioning for a pitch man for Anchor.
I think so.
Patrice, round 2. What are you picking this time?
Round 2. I'm gonna go off the more technical things and throw in one, like a book. Those paper things or audiobooks, like those audio thingies. It's a great gift if you're running short on time, because you can just order it online and have it delivered in a second. So easy. The book I'm picking it's not a technical book. It is one of my favorite books of this year. It's it got the Goodreads Choice Award. It's nominated for the best science fiction book for last year, I think. And it is Reika Aoki's Light from Uncommon Stars. Which, as I said, it's a fictional book. It's not nonfiction. It's not a whatever cybersecurity story or something. I've read a million of these this year. It's something completely outside of what we usually listen to, or what we usually read. The tagline, or let's say the one sentence pitch for it was really interesting. So I grabbed it and I wasn't sure about it, and I started listening to it, and I didn't stop. Like I think other than sleeping, I finished it in like a day and a half. It was that good. The pitch for it is, it's an adventure set in California's San Gabriel Valley with cursed violins, Faustian bargains, and queer alien courtship over fresh-made donuts. So you got everything in. You got like a music story, you got a little bit like California, you got like donuts, and you got like a queer story. So, I mean, what else do you need? It's a really good book. I'm not going to give anything away. It's just you just have to read it. It's a really delightful story. It's a really heartwarming story. It just has everything you need. So, Light from Uncommon Stars.
What valley did you say?
San Gabriel.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's about 5 miles from me.
There's like starships in it. Like this, it's kind of like, it's like mystery meets science fiction meets, I don't know what the third category would be. Love stories, maybe a little bit. There's a tiny little bit in there. Like just has everything, and it's just so well written. So highly recommend that one.
Interesting.
And donuts.
And donuts.
Yeah.
The best donuts on the planet, apparently.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Jim, round 2.
Real-time follow-up, Amazon at least does not appear to sell lightning to lightning cables. Maybe Monoprice has them. Well, what would you do with it other than maybe that application that you're saying for the AirPod Max? I don't know what else you would do with it. So I don't know. Maybe Monoprice has it or something. But anyway,
I was kidding when I said you had homework, Jim.
Well, like I said, I'm home, and we've got a web browser here. We're connected to the internet. And I was curious at that point. I wanted to know. Okay, so my next pick, I think I originally saw Jason Snell mention this a couple of years ago, and I was intrigued, but it was expensive. I had it in my wish list for a long time, and then it got cheaper, although still not super cheap. And so I bought it, and I just love it. And I think the price has gone up again a little bit, but it turns out I just love it. So I'm going to recommend it. And it's called a Night Watch Magnifying Clock Dock. I don't know if, let's see if this is going to show up here at all. Oh, yeah, sort of. Okay.
Oh.
So what you do is you take your watch and you put it in here. And then, come on.
There you go.
There we go.
Nice. Oh,
Mm.
that is so cool.
And I can tell you that this is not really showing how cool it looks. It looks really cool. I just love it to the point where it's almost like, oh, can I charge my watch now? I want to charge my watch. So, and one thing I'm wondering, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it'll work. I'm wondering if it will work with an Ultra. There might not be enough room. But that could be a gating for me deciding if my next watch might be an Ultra. I've got to figure out if it would fit because I can't stop using my watch globe.
The only downside would be if you're only charging your watch for like half an hour a day, you don't get to enjoy it that much.
Yeah. Well, but I have it right here next to my desk, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exercising when I'm at my desk, so might as well just plop it in and enjoy it. And I sleep with my watch, so that works great because that makes it, and I had a little stand by my desk before, but it wasn't, a lot of times I would discover like, oh shoot, it hasn't been charging,
Mm-hmm.
and so I never have that problem with this because I think the way it cradles it.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be very hard to knock it off the charger.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so neat because it just blows it up, and it's kind of, yeah, it's really neat. Like I say, I think I paid $50, and I think they're now $60. But I use it every day. So
Of all the docks I've seen, I've never seen that one before, and that's such a fantastic idea. To roll over in the middle of the night, and if you wear glasses or if the watch has to be a little bit farther away from you because of your nightstand, sometimes you just it's not always easy to see, and that would be absolutely perfect. So yeah, great pick.
And you can just kind of tap the globe part, and that jostles it enough to make it light up. I don't have it by my bed because I wear the watch at night when I'm sleeping to do sleep tracking. But yeah, and I think it's been out for a couple of years. But it never really got much, I think Jason mentioned it a couple of years ago, and I've never seen it mentioned anywhere else. So we're here to spread the word.
No, great pick. Sure. Great pick. Well, Patrice, my heart went pitter patter for just a second because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have my first gift stolen, but you didn't. So thank you. But Patrice, I mean, you picked a book, and you mentioned audiobooks or ebooks. There've been a number of books picked this year, but I'm going to suggest a subscription to Audible. I love Audible because they seem to have virtually any book, especially new books that are coming out, or if they're not day and date. They come out very shortly after that. You can download them right to your iPhone or iPad, of course, as well as your Mac. You don't have to, worry about getting it delivered or whatever, and that's important if you're traveling or you're out there and suddenly you find yourself with nothing to listen to, as if that's even possible. But if you want to listen to something specific, so it doesn't matter, from fiction to thrillers to how-tos to management to cooking, you name it, and Audible has the book. And so the subscriptions are very, very a nice little way to do it, because you are using an established, you know how much you're going to spend for each credit, and each credit is worth one book. And it doesn't matter what the retail price of that book is. If it's $50, if it's $10, it's going to cost you the same for that credit. So it's a bit of an equalizer. Of course, you're getting them every month. They're therefore encouraging you to, buy more books, use the credit, buy more books. But occasionally I'll run into a month where I don't, just can't get through a book. But this year I've been I've been listening to a lot of books this way. So I can't encourage this enough. If you haven't, and the web player is very, very good. It supports something that's near and dear to my heart, multiple speed, in very small increments too. Unlike some other things that, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, you can tailor it to the individual listening and to your ability to absorb. So I really, really appreciate that. But I think this is money well spent if you have any interest in consuming a book other than in print.
Yeah, I can only second that. I don't know how long I've been a subscriber. Probably, I don't know. Did they exist 10 years ago? If they did, I probably was already subscribed to it, like continuously. What I really like about them, I mean, as you said, there's like a massive selection. The player is really good. I listen to everything on 2x. So, Chuck, I'm sorry, you're speaking very slowly for me right now because I'm usually listening to you on 2x. No, but I'm kidding. It's like the cool thing is with the credits, if you ever decide to cancel the subscription or something else, you keep the books. The credit you spend, the book is yours. You can, as long as Audible exists, I would say, you can access it. You do not have to be a subscriber to access the books you've already bought. So I have, as I said, probably 10 years or something worth of books already, and I'm constantly going back. I'm listening to old books and I'm listening to new books, and sometimes I have like 2-3 months where I'm not buying a new book and the credits just accumulate, and then there's a spur where I'm like 2-3 books a month and I'm just going through the credits. So you can buy, that's also good to know, you can buy 3 extra credits at any point if you need them for actually a cheaper price. So also can recommend that. It's a good service.
And Patrice, something I learned, I guess it was a couple of years ago when I got especially busy and just, the credits were stacking up to a point that it's not like they expire, but it's just more than money that I wanted to have just laying there. So you can pause your subscription. They will let you pause it for several months because, there are a dozen reasons that you might just not be able to or want to be consuming books at that time. So the whole thing is very, very flexible. It seems to be very customer oriented, at least from everything that I've wanted to do with it. So, it's a great gift.
Definitely. The only thing I do before I buy a book is if it's a shorter book, I will check the price, because you get with Audible, you also get usually a reduced price for the book, and sometimes the reduced price is cheaper than a credit, and then I'll just save the credit and buy the book outright because that's smarter.
Yeah, good tip. So, and it's something that you can order today and have delivered to someone by email at whenever you say. So that makes it perfect for a last minute holiday gift that you may not have time to pick up, but let it be delivered by email, and there you go.
Yeah. What's also cool is they have, what is it called? Whisper Sync, I think. It's basically you can buy the Kindle book and the audiobook, and I think you get one of them for even a cheaper price. I don't remember which way it goes. And then you could start reading the Kindle book, and then at some point you're like, oh, whatever, I have to leave the house and run some errands, and you continue at the point where you stopped reading on Audible, and vice versa. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how they have moved the consumption of books forward through multiple channels, but tie them together. So
yeah,
that is 2 rounds. So that means we're halfway through, and we're going to start. And now, if you have a long list of things, you have to start thinking about it, since you only have 2 picks left. Mike, Patrice, and Jim are back in the next edition of MacVoices to finish off Holiday Gift Guide number 7, the final gift guide for 2022. Some interesting picks, also some things that you can take advantage of at the very last minute and still look like it's Christmas hero. That's next time on MacVoices. Until then, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.